earlier today. I wanted to talk to you guys about, my testimony and when I first saw the street preaching. So I was raised in a Christian household. I was, two parents that were Christian, raised in private Christian schooling. If you want more specifics, you're going to have to ask me face to face. But, if I come to a local college campus, you can do. It should be great. We'll have a conversation about what's been going on, what's happening, and all that. So, but I remember my sophomore year of college at the University of Arizona. Let me see. My freshman year, that was the year that I just saw a glimpse. So I was doing my thing. I was studying. I was, in there's a blue chip like minor in leadership that I was trying to get. I was doing a double major in religious studies and classical literature, and all that stuff. And then let me see, what else was I doing? I would play soccer. I was a part of some different clubs, some soccer clubs, and I did. I was a part of some different groups on campus. Navigators, Campus Crusade, which I think they're called Crew now, so they kind of edited their Crusade out of there, which is great, but that's up to them. And yeah, I remember I was going through a time of really thinking through things, well, actually, I wasn't really thinking through things. I was just doing whatever I wanted to. I was going to church, but not for church. I was just going there. I was like at a mega church. I was a Bartista there. I would do coffee there, but I wouldn't really drink coffee because I was against it at the time. So I was just kind of living my best life, my sinful life. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I wasn't partying. I wasn't, but I'd hang out with people that probably weren't the type to have a Bible study with me, but that's where I was. So, but I remember it was the spring semester, but I remember seeing Brother Jack. Brother Jack, he's dead now. I was able to kind of learn from him for 10, 12 years, and then he passed. He's older. But I saw the cross that he was holding on our campus. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is crazy. This is such a statement. I remember in middle school seeing this guy in a tank top with tattoos all over, as I was driving home, seeing this guy in a Jesus Saves sign. There's just these huge moments. And I was just so, by both these moments, I was so shook in who I was and in my spirit and all of that. But it really took me aback. And I think that sometimes these huge events happen, and it's like God's trying to reach out to you. He's trying to speak to you and what you're doing or what you've done, and He's trying to move you, So, needless to say, that was my freshman year of college. I did a lot of soccer. I was really active. Studied a lot. Was a part of a lot of campus groups. But it wasn't until my sophomore year of college, where God really took that person that would go to church but not be there. He took that person, who I was, and I had a couple of really crazy visions. I mean, God was coming. His vision, his mission was really coming to light into my life, and I think a lot of people, some people have those moments and some people don't. I mean, and some people just read the Bible and they obey, and that's kind of more Reuben read the Bible and he decided, hey, this is what I'm doing. I know that Jed had visions and he had different experiences with the Lord, and sometimes God knows where you need to be for him to reach you. You know, and I know for me at that time, he was like, I mean, I just remember the month before Jed came for a full week, it's like the Holy Spirit was like, preach. This campus needs preaching. There needs to be preaching. It was like every day, and I was like, Lord, I need to know how. I talked to my pastor, hey, could you come out with me and on this campus, the University of Arizona campus, to minister and to preach to these people and bring them closer to the Lord. And he's like, all right, well, maybe this, that, whatever. Well, he didn't ever really get brought out. But, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people, it's hard to go out there, and it's hard to sacrifice. It's hard to sacrifice your what people think of you for. It's nobody wants to be that guy that nobody likes, you know, and that's just the truth of it. So, you know, I was there every day. I was passing out tracts. I was talking to everybody. I mean, I was the guy who was inviting, like, I would invite like 15, 30, 50 people each week to church. We had this group called The Branch. Andy, I forgot what his last name was, but Andy was the one who led it. But it was a great, I mean, I loved that college group. I loved being a part of it. I loved bringing people to it, and it was really friendly. They had this meal that we would have, and it was awesome. But so I would bring people, but it was like preach. So then I saw Brother Jed, and I decided that even though I thought what he was doing was wrong, like, I believed that the confrontational approach, that I believed in my heart that this way of doing it was wrong. W-R-O-N-G, wrong to the core. But I was like, you know what, no, let me read the Bible a little bit more. You know, he's quoting verses, so I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me look into this a little bit more. You know, and I did, and I watched, and I watched a ton of YouTube stuff on what these guys were doing, and I thought about it, and the thing was being around it, because you know, it's a spiritual thing. So I was around the street preaching. I decided to, every spare moment of that week, I decided to listen to the preaching, watch it, you know, and I was a part of the crowd, and I was one of those people that was really interested in what was going on and what was happening, and that I'll never forget a woman throwing a milkshake on Jed, and it was just like, whoa, you know, they threw drinks on him, they defamed him, they made fun of him, everything that they could come up with, like, oh, he must have this and that. And this was a man, I mean, at least from what I could tell, you know, and what we were seeing, was he was a man who, he had a wife, he had children, and he loved the Lord, and these people were just mocking him. They were making fun of him, and a lot of what they do to me. Now, I'm a little bit more, you know, I preach, and we preach a little bit, the official street preachers preach a little bit harder, you know, not to say that I'm a part of one group or the other, but, you know, I like the direction that Ruben led, and I appreciate what he did in his life, the events, and I appreciate what Jed did in his life. You know, these were great men. These were great men of the Lord, you know, and they led men into battle, and they did great things. So, you know, I was there, and I was listening. I think he was there for the entirety of an entire week, you know, so there, listening, watching, experiencing the preaching. And I would encourage anybody that is listening to this, like, you can't just watch a YouTube video, you know, go out there and experience the light versus darkness that we're seeing with the street preaching, that we're seeing. I mean, are you passing out tracts, light and dark? Are you witnessing to people, light and dark? Are you telling those people around you that that the truth about heaven, hell, about the abominations in the Bible, and all of these different things? Are you real with yourself? Are you fully surrendered to the Lord, where you don't care about the hooks of the world, about what people have to say, about, just these different things? And let me see. Anyway, so I listened to him, and at the end of the week, I decided to rise up for the Lord and start preaching at U of A, and I did so for 3 years. My junior year of college was when I came out with the "You Deserve" sign, which I was just praying, and I sought the Lord, and I decided to bring that sign out. And I think anybody who's real and on fire for the Lord and fully surrendered should pray for a sign, pray for a word, pray for boldness, and that's really what it boils down to. You need to pray for boldness in your life and in your ministry, and everybody who lives, everybody who's a Christian has a ministry. They have a ministry to the Lord. You owe the Lord a ministry. You owe the Lord evangelism. You owe him these things because he saved you. He died on the cross for you. The least you could do is tell other people about him. But, that's all I got for today, and thanks for watching.